Let's begin. Before we start today's class, if you are aware of any tightness in the knees, ankles, feel free to grab a folded sheet or two so that it can support you in some of the asanas that we do. And if you need them, you can bring them and place them close to you. Take your time if you're getting it. Otherwise, coming onto the mat, sitting in a comfortable posture. Close your eyes and start coming back inward. Bringing all the attention back to the body. Check in to see how you're holding each part of the body. Naturally, what is happening right now? Check the lower body. Become aware of all parts, from the toes to the hip joints. Are your legs clenched, contracted in some parts? Or are your legs very loose and relaxed, heavy, pressing into the mat? Let go of any clenching, holding, but bring a little bit of activeness, as if you're about to lift the legs up. See what that involves. To feel like you're about to lift the legs so that they feel light, a little lighter in how they are pressed into the mat. Today's class, we will focus on finding that middle point, finding that balance. The Buddha's answer to suffering in this material world, in life, is finding that middle path. Today we will explore that and see how that can end our suffering, bring a state of ease, balance, even in our yoga practice. Now become aware of your back. Are you clenching, tightening some muscles, especially in the lower back, around the shoulder blades? Relax if you are. And are you allowing some parts of the back to be loose and passive, which causes the rounding, the slouching? How can you be active? A balance between the passiveness and the overactiveness. The right amount of activeness will keep you upright, sitting tall, but without clenching, without contracting any part. Keep the belly soft, the chest open and relaxed. Now observe your arms from the shoulder joints to the fingertips. Are the arms passive, heavy? The hands pressing into the legs? Are you holding any tightness? maybe around the elbows, the underarms. Can you release any holding? And can you bring that lightness? It's easy to see this in the arms. The contact between your hands and the knees as light as possible. That perfect amount of activeness, as if you're about to lift your arms. So the weight is not felt on the legs much, but also you're not clenching, tightening anywhere. And become aware of the neck. Are you active in the neck muscles? When you're active in the neck muscles, even the neck is tall. There are no creases around the neck. You're not lifting it too high, nor bending it forward too low. Right in the middle with the chin tucked in. Observe your face muscles. Especially check the beginning of the eyebrows, the forehead, the eyelids. Have you shut your eyes tight? Is there some contraction, some clenching? Can you release that? Same thing with the teeth, lower jaw. Check if you're clenching. Release that. Are you passive, allowing some muscles to sag down in your face? Can you bring that activeness as if you're about to smile? Can you feel the difference between the three? When you are clenching, tightening, maybe frowning. When you are passive, especially in the cheeks, around the mouth. And when you bring that expression as if you're about to smile, do you notice the right amount of activeness? How that feels in the muscles? Now the entire body coming to that middle part where you're neither passive and heavy nor overactive and clenching, holding. The perfect balance, the right amount of activeness. See how the state makes you feel. Today, like I said, we will practice finding that middle path for our practice. And also, one more thing, try to imagine that that part of you which is observing your body right now, knowing how you're holding each part, just think of it as the space in the room, that you are the space in the room. You, the watcher, the one who is witnessing everything happening with the body, breath. So while trying to find that middle path, we will try to remain the awareness that knows whatever is happening with the body, breath constantly. That is aware of every aspect of the body, but not fully identified with it. Seeing the body as just the body. For this 1 hour, now set your intention to find that you will try to find that perfect balance, maintain that activeness in the body without letting go completely, without being overactive. You will remain the witness, like the space in the room, aware of everything that is happening in the room, but not affected by it. And with these intentions, let us chant our 3 rounds of Omkara. Active in your breathing. Let the breath be complete, filling in all of the lungs. So take a breath in now for the first round. Om. 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 Take a few seconds in the silence. And bringing your palms together, you can rub them. Cup your eyes and slowly blink them open. Hello again. Today, let's come up to a standing position. We will not be going with the regular flow where we start moving dynamically right away. We will go with slower stretches, which start opening up the deeper layers of tissues and muscles. So stand with your feet comfortably apart, toes pointing forward. Inhale and raise your arms up from the sides. Shiva Mudra. You can interlock your fingers, open out only the forefinger, the pointing finger. Looking to the front of the room. Every posture, first check, can you just be the witness, like the space around, the space within, aware of all parts of the body. See what is happening. And now, can you find that middle part? Now observe all the parts of the body, see which part is pressing against another part, pressing against the floor. Wherever there is a lot of pressure, you're overactive in those muscles, which means some other part you may be very passive, letting it be heavy, maybe around the hips and lower back. So how can you be active in your core muscles so that you're not pressing the fingers, the palms into each other? Adjust constantly to find that right activeness where you start feeling weightless. Weightless on your feet, weightless in your arms. Are you active in the chest, the whole of the torso? A little active in the upper arms, forearms. And if the discomfort starts settling in, even the simplest of postures, after a while, the mind starts feeling restless. Again, even mentally, finding that middle path. You're not giving up as soon as it feels uncomfortable, but you're not struggling, pushing beyond your capacity. In some styles of yoga, it is known as finding the appropriate edge, knowing how much to challenge the body, knowing when to let go. If it starts feeling uncomfortable, see if you can observe that as an outside observer, as if you're the space around. And from here, we'll go into a forward fold. So open the arms out from the sides and take a few moments. You can first start by placing the palms on the thighs, looking to the front of the room, just to lengthen the spine. And slowly allow the hands to slide down. We're going into a very relaxed forward fold. Feel free to keep the knees bent. Drop your head to look towards the knees. Let your hands hang loose. And start observing your body. You can keep your eyes closed if you're comfortable. Notice what parts are you feeling. Pressing into another part, pressing into the floor. Are you feeling all the weight on your feet? Probably you're a little passive in the hips. Can you be a little more active in the hips? Active in the upper back? Even the neck maybe? Are your hands hanging very passive? If you're reaching the floor, you can gently place the fingertips, but you're not allowing the weight to fall fully on the fingertips. You're a little active in your upper arms, forearms. You are not frozen in the posture. So constantly striving to find that middle point where you can feel light, effortless in your posture. You can even use your breath to bring that activeness. When you inhale, feel that expansion in all parts, as if all parts are about to expand. When you exhale, releasing any clenching, holding. Observe the state of your mind when you have to hold without knowing how long you have to hold for. Constantly finding that middle point of effortlessness, being okay with a little bit of the challenge. Nowhere are we trying to give in, bending to either side. Constantly finding that midpoint where it is okay for you. But if your body gives you the signs that this is too much, see how you can make it easier. Maybe bend your knees or even come out of the pose slowly. Observe your body, being the space around and within the body. And we will come up now. So slowly, you can bend your knees, start raising your arms from the sides. Taking your time to gently come back up, raise your arms. Lengthen and relax. Take a few moments. Notice what your body is telling you. Can you observe all the sensations? Being the space around your body. As if you're observing even the innermost parts of your body like an outsider. Now you can slowly, we'll come into a Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. You can come down to your knees And in the beginning, I was saying that if you have tightness in the knees or ankles, you can even bring a folded sheet or two. If there is tightness in the ankles, you can take a thin sheet, place it right underneath the ankle joint. That will give you a little bit of padding. If you have tight knees and you can't sit this way, you can even place a sheet between the thighs and the calf muscles. So that might help you sit more comfortably. So take the support you need and just sitting in Vajrasana. Vajrasana is one of the poses again where you can feel heavy, feel the pressure against the mat more. Check if you're feeling that. How can you bring that activeness? Just feeling as if the calves, the thighs are about to lift up a little bit. Active in your hips. Active in the torso, as if the torso is independently holding itself up. Are you active in your arms? With full body awareness, how can you keep moving towards lightness even in this posture, where all the weight is in fact falling on the legs? Can you observe all the sensations, especially the strong ones, as if you're an outsider, looking at it from a neutral attitude? How much can you be okay with observing? And when your body starts struggling, you can come out of the pose. You can move to tabletop to release the pressure on the legs. If not, can you keep observing, being the witness, challenging the body, but moving towards effortlessness, staying a bit longer? And now gently placing your palms down to lift your hips, move to tabletop position. Make sure your shoulders are right above the wrists. You will feel that pressure on the base of the palm. So we'll move to a hip opener now, the horse rider's pose, Ashwasanchalana. So you can step your left foot forward between your palms. See how much forward you want to take it. You can tuck the back toes, adjust the position of the back leg. See where it's comfortable. If you can place your knee such that you're putting pressure on the top of the knee, not right on the kneecap, it might make it a little more comfortable if you have knee issues. Even here, you can place a padding under that back knee. Now looking to the front, you can close your eyes. Observe the posture carefully. Do you feel that you're clenching some muscles? Can you relax them? Which means observe parts on the opposite side of where you're feeling the stretch a lot. Can you be a little more active in the muscles on the other side? Every part of the body as if it is about to just lift up a little from the mat. How can you reduce the pressure on your hands, on the front leg? Can you be a little more active in the back leg? If you're comfortable, stretch your toes to the back instead of keeping them tucked in. Finding the right amount of activeness. Initially, it may not feel so easy, effortless, but we are moving in the direction and you will start noticing that shift. Wherever it is feeling strong, the sensation, can you observe that as if it is happening to someone else's body, being the witness from outside? If you need to, you can always come out of the pose. Otherwise, being the witness, constantly adjusting to bring activeness in some part. If you feel it very intense in one place, see how you can adjust some other part to become active to support you in the posture. And we slowly shift the hips back slightly. Step back with the left foot, bringing the knee back to the mat. And this time bring the other foot forward. Take your time. If you need to, you can even rest in Thunderbolt for a bit to see how much forward you can move the foot. You can tuck your toes and lift the knee once and place it back so that there is comfort in that knee. Give it the padding if needed. And looking to the front, you can close your eyes. Feel free to tuck the chin slightly so that there is no crease on the back of the neck. See where your hands are comfortable. If you feel that the pressure is still falling on the palms, you can make a fist with each hand and place it down. That gives a little bit of relief for the wrist joint. You can go into that for some time. Change to the fist or the palm depending on what you need. Where are you feeling the intensity? How can you become active in some other parts where you're not feeling anything? Feeling as if you're lifting your palms off the mat, lifting that front foot off the mat. Even just thinking of it, feeling it, can you feel that difference? As if you're about to lift the back knee off the mat. Some parts will become active. If it feels too intense, you can gently shift the hips back also to make it a little easier. Whatever stretches, can you observe it as if you are just the space around? Aware of what is happening, aware of the stretches. When we think it is my body, this is happening to my body, everything feels a little more stronger and intense. And if you think it's very challenging, you're mentally not able to stay stable here, you can move out of the pose. Let us slowly anyway come back. And take a few more moments in Thunderbolt, Vajrasana. So you can bring your knees together. Sit back on your heels. Take a few moments. Observe all the sensations. Notice how there is a feeling of relief when you come out of some poses. So how can you not even feel attached to that feeling of a relief? Finding that middle point. Whenever there is a lot of challenge, seeing how you cannot struggle with that, make it a little easier. But even when it is very nice, not wanting to hold on to that. That middle path is the path to end our suffering. What we are doing on the mat is just a small experiment with that attitude of being in the middle. Now you can come back to your palms. We'll go into a twist here. So keep your knees slightly apart, your hips right above the knees. Now inhale and raise the right arm up, pointing up towards the ceiling, looking up towards the palm. And as you exhale, loop that right hand underneath the left, pushing it in, and relax the side of your shoulder, the side of your head on the mat. Adjust your posture. See if you want to move forward or back a little bit. See where you can be most comfortable. If you're comfortable now, you can raise the left arm, place it on your back. If not, continue to keep that left palm on the mat to give a little bit of support. All these postures, you can keep your eyes closed. Start by first observing what parts are pressing into the mat. What other parts can be active? Can you be active in the hip, the shoulder which is not on the mat? Keeping every part of the body in that perfect midpoint of activeness. Neither tight, clenched, nor passive, heavy. When we can hold every part actively, even if you have to hold the posture for 5 minutes, there will be that effortlessness. Observe the weight on the head. How can you be more active in the other side of the skull and the head? Your breathing is an indication of the effortlessness, the ease in a posture. Observe your breathing. Notice all sensations, pleasant or unpleasant, being very neutral. Last few breaths here. See how you can release the upper back. And if you had raised your hand, place it back on the mat. You'll slowly come out of the pose. So as you breathe in, gently slide the arm back. You can take a moment in tabletop and then lift the arm once. Place it back. Just to neutralize that stretch, deep stretch we got on the upper back, shoulder blades. Now let's move to the other side, raising the left arm up, pointing up, stretching upward. And as you exhale next, looping that hand underneath the right, push it all the way in and place the side of the shoulder, the side of your head on the mat. Check if you want to move forward a little, move back. Find your comfort. And again, if you're comfortable, raise your arm, place it on your back. Become that witness, that watcher, as if that part of you which is watching is the empty space in the room. Observe each and every part. Bring activeness in the parts where you're not feeling anything. See how you can make that pressure on the mat a little lesser. Find that appropriate edge, the point where you can stay without struggling too much, where you don't feel like you're struggling, fighting, punishing your body, and where it is not too easy, where you hardly feel the posture. That perfect balance, active in the torso so that you can take that stretch without too much struggle. And now if you had raised your arm, place it back on the mat. Take a moment. As you inhale, slowly sliding back, come to tabletop for a moment. And then just raise that left arm. Bring it back to the mat. We'll go into a child's pose now. You can open your knees out almost as wide as the mat or adjust in whatever position it's comfortable. The toes are close together on the mat, sitting back on your heels. Adjust, let your belly settle between your thighs. Move your hands forward, bring the chest towards the floor, drop your forehead. Notice how, in postures like this, there is a tendency to become passive, let the whole body feel heavy. You know all the instructions, the cues I've been giving. So let's stay in silence here, finding that exact middle point where we feel effortless in this child's pose. Just remember, a resting pose is a great opportunity for the mind to wander off. Remain aware of the body, try to remain active in the body. Try not to become fully passive here. Use your breath to find that perfect balance. Even a resting pose, if you hold for long, starts feeling uncomfortable. That is the law of nature in play. Whatever, however pleasant, will change over time. And whatever, however unpleasant, will also change over time. Nothing is permanent, so we don't have to feel attached to anything. Now slowly come back to tabletop, bringing your knees closer. And let's lie down on the belly for a supported back bend. Come on to your elbows and forearms. Stretch your toes to the back. Place your elbows down. Bring your elbows just underneath the shoulders. Feel tall in the spine as you breathe in. Try to feel that your head is gently being pulled forward and upward. Though it's a back bend, feeling that you're releasing any compression along the spine. If you still feel a deep compression in the lower back in the lumbar region, you can gently clench your buttocks. That will release some of the pressure on the spine. That's another way to balance. The compression is because some muscles around the waist are passive. So by clenching, we are bringing that balance, that little bit of activeness, so you feel weightless in the spine. Stay here, moment to moment, finding that balance in all parts, where you don't start feeling the weight all on your elbows. How can you be active in the shoulders, the shoulder blades, chest? Active even in your legs, as if you're about to lift your legs off the mat. Your hips. Every part must contribute if you have to feel effortless. If it is intense, you can go into a Makarasana, just stacking your palms, resting your forehead. If not, so just a few more breaths. See where you can be active, where you can let go of clenching, tightening. In this pose, there is lesser chance of clenching, more chance of you being passive and heavy. So how can you use all parts actively to feel that lightness? And now, stacking your palms on top of each other, release the elbows. Just rest your head for a few breaths. You can turn around on your back also and relax. We'll do one final twist. If these postures were too intense, we'll start winding down, relaxing. So now gently turn around on your back. If you felt the back bend a little too intense, feel free to bend your knees and stay there on your back for a while. You can even hug your knees to release that stress in the lower back. We will anyway do that now to go into the twist, to release any tension around the hips, along the spine. So bring your knees to your chest. Gently pulling them closer. You can roll on your back once to release any compression on the back, any pinching. And once you're in the center, stay here for a few breaths. You will notice how this also starts feeling uncomfortable after a while. Try to bring a lightness, an activeness. Now open your arms out, palms facing down at shoulder level. Then go into the twist. Drop your legs to the left. Usually, in our regular class, by this time we are ready to let go and be a little passive. Today, you can place your left palm on the knees if you want for a deeper stretch. Turn your head to look to the right, eyes closed. Today, see how you can bring that lightness, weightlessness, even here. Wherever you're feeling the stretches, first thing, can you observe those stretches as if it's happening to someone else's body? And how can you become active on the other side of the body in the same part to find that balance, the right amount of activeness, to find that weightlessness? There is constant activity in the body. So there is also that constant adjustment to find that perfect balance. It's a continuous process. But once you understand how you can find that weightlessness, is when you are slowly coming out of the suffering. And that becomes a quality you develop, which will help you even in your day-to-day life in the outer world. You start applying the same, bringing the same attitude of being neutral, finding that middle path, the middle point. You can gently bring your head to the center, bring your legs to the center. Take a moment. When you feel ready, drop your legs to the other side. Again, you'll notice you can place your right palm on the left knee if you want to take the twist deeper, turn your head to look in the opposite direction. And did you notice when you come out of a twist, suppose you are very passive, there is a lot of effort needed to come back to the center. Observe now as you twist to the other side. If you can remain active and light, fully alert, coming out of the pose also feels as effortless and light. So stay here, trying to bring that weightlessness. That weightlessness, that state of balance, is where the mind relaxes. It does not have to struggle. The mind is constantly struggling when something is unfavorable, wanting to move out of that. When something is very pleasant and favorable, wanting to go more towards that. There is this constant fight. So finding that middle path, the mind also realizes that it feels great to relax there, not fighting, struggling all the time. So see how you can be light here for just a few more breaths. How you can be active in every muscle in the body. As if every part is lifting off to just float above the mat. Now observe carefully what the state is, what the quality of your body is of all the muscles when you come out of the twist. Are you still feeling light and easy? Is there a lot of heaviness? Doesn't matter, just become aware of whatever the state. Now place your palms on your knees. You can gently roll one side to side. Point your feet up, point your palms up. Clench and release your fingers and toes a few times. Now place your feet on the mat. Take your hands overhead, giving yourself a full body stretch. Point your toes, point your fingers. Just release any tightness that might still be there. And then relax into Shavasana. Bring your hands down. Adjust your hips, shoulders, keeping your hands a little away from the body. The palms and hands automatically turn upwards if you adjust your shoulder blades to come closer together. Let your feet fall to the sides. We'll take a few minutes for breath awareness before letting go into stillness. So stay here in your Shavasana. Bring your attention to your breathing. See where what muscles are active as you breathe. Even with the breathing, you can see that. If you're feeling the movement only in the chest, the belly may be very passive, or the neck may be very passive. If you're breathing only through the belly also, you might have let go of the chest and neck, allowing them to be passive. Just for this duration, while we are focused on the breath, can you stay active in all body parts? Automatically, you will notice that the lungs are filling completely. And emptying out also completely without effort. This is another way to get into effortless, full yogic breathing. Just remain active in all parts. Your breathing is more active, complete. With every inhalation, try to feel that the whole body is lifting up as if floating above the mat. With every exhalation, release any clenching, holding. Let the body feel a little bit heavier. So this is one way of using the breath to find that perfect balance. Moving between that lightness, airiness, and the heaviness. To feel that perfect state of ease mentally. Now slowly move your attention to the throat, the neck. Staying light in the body, keep the chin slightly tucked in. And try to feel the breath in the throat. Listen carefully. Can you hear the breath in the throat? Effortless Ujjayi breathing. You, the witness, the awareness, are like the empty space around you. So listen to or feel the breath in the throat now for a little while. Moment to moment, trying to listen to the sound in the throat. Feel free to breathe in a little heavier, a little more actively for a few rounds, just so you can listen to that sound constantly. Staying fully with the breath, you can start feeling the effects on your mind. And move your attention to the whole body again. Now just become aware of the space around you. See if you can feel the space within. Now this space, this awareness that you are, has a stillness to it. Now only listen to that stillness, the silence. We'll stay there for a few more minutes. Every second, listening to, coming into that silence and stillness. Nothing. No instruction, nothing to do, nothing to think. Everything comes to a stop. Let your mind get comfortable in the nothingness. You will realize how powerful that is. The space of stillness, nothingness. You can even call it everythingness. The unlimited stillness, silence, is the only way you can feel that deeper state of inner peace, balance, stability, of freedom. Of freedom from dependency, attachment to anything in the outer world. You will still participate in life beautifully, joyfully, but from an inner state of freedom, knowing that your ease is not dependent on that thing outside. So a few more seconds in complete stillness. We'll slowly come back Even as we come out of Shavasana, see if you can remain that awareness, that space around you as you come back with the body, becoming active, moving the body, stretching it. Take your time to slowly come out of your Shavasana, but try to remain that awareness, that witness, observing whatever you're doing with the body. So take your time. You can gently become active, stretch, bend the body in whatever way you need to feel at ease, and slowly turn and sit back. Once you're seated, bringing your palms together, come back again to that silent stillness in the background. Let us wish that inner peace, freedom for all beings, including ourselves, with the closing prayer. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Take a nice breath in. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can rub your palms. Feel that active energy between your palms. You can move it to your eyes. Take a few seconds. Move it to your face and the rest of the body if you feel like it. And then cupping your eyes, you can slowly blink them open. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.